Hi everyone, my name is Arunama, and along with Shaina, Sujila, and Utkarsh, we'll be presenting our Prosthetics Final project. So in order for us to understand our patient scenario, we had to research about the type of amputation that was performed. In this case, a transradial amputation is the partial amputation of the forearm below the elbow, and this will be done somewhere along the radial bone, which is one of the two long bones that make up our entire forearm. This type of surgery also leaves the elbow and most of the arm intact, which makes recovery much easier, and it makes it more likely that the individual will be able to continue to use their arm even after the surgery. If the bones in the arm are shattered or broken beyond repair, it's sometimes necessary to amputate that so the disease doesn't set in and travel to the rest of the body. Our patient scenario consisted of a 65-year-old veteran with a long transradial amputation who requested for a device to assist him with eating. The standard device that he used now was a hook prosthetic on his dominant arm, which also happened to be his amputated side. His cuff attached to the prosthetic tend to rotate, slip, and twist, so his request was to create a new device or a cuff that would help him prevent all those issues. Some of our patient's specific requests were that he liked to eat with his dominant limb, which is, as mentioned before, his amputated side, and he also normally uses a hook terminal device but would rather prefer to eat without the prosthetic. And to create a better device, we would have to prevent all the rotation of the cuff and the slipping of the cuff and provide different types of utensil attachments. So our team's approach to the entire problem consisted of us integrating a magnetic and a pin locking mechanism to reinforce and efficiently grasp onto the metal utensils. Based on our research we conducted, we found that materials such as rubber or plastic foam could be used in place of metal for the utensils. And along with that, we wanted to create a universal cuff with a silicone material to prevent any slipping on the distal end of the device. And in addition to our cuff, the client may also consider using bendable or angled utensils since they're more easily manipulated with artificial limbs, and that's why we created utensils at the certain angle. Lastly, the rubber tubing or plastic foam can also be fitted directly over the handle of the utensil to build up the handle, making it much easier to grasp an artificial limb.
Our study design had four steps, which were the initial research, the initial device design, the utensil design, and the device design. So for step one, for the initial research, we researched current devices that were already on the market, and a lot of these devices incorporated things such as non-slip handles, angled or bendable utensils, and combined utensils such as a fork or a knife and a fork. Also, we found the possibility of adding a rubber tubing or a plastic foam to the handle of the utensil to build it up and make it thicker and easier to use. After we finished our initial research, we had brainstorming for our initial device design, and we wanted to include a magnetic attachment for the utensil and also include a pin locking mechanism to prevent the utensil from slipping out. And we also planned to incorporate a band on our device that can be used to attach to the prosthetic arm. Step two of our procedure was to create the design of the utensils. We decided to make our utensils out of a hard plastic material to ensure durability, and we also wanted them to be washable and reusable. Based off of what we found in our initial research, we wanted to incorporate a curved shape into our utensils just so that it can ensure that the utensils would be easier to use with the device. And also we are going to be incorporating a magnetic attachment at the bottom of the utensil in order to firmly attach the utensil to the device. Step three of our procedure was the design of the device. At the top of the device, there is a space to hold the utensil in place, and this space will be lined with a metal material that can attach to the magnet from the utensil. In addition to the magnet, there is also a twist lock mechanism on the device, which is used to further hold the utensil in place and prevent it from rotating or slipping out while it's being used. And also in this stage, we finalized the Velcro band of the device, which is used to attach it to the prosthetic arm. The use of Velcro on a device lets the band be adjustable so that it can fit snugly on the prosthetic arm. On the right, you can see the CAD assembly that we made using both the device and the utensil, and you can see how the utensil fits in with the device.
As mentioned in the methods, the overall concept behind our locking system is to provide security and stability to mitigate the patient's issue with slipping. We aim to include a magnetic locking system that would serve as an initial form of contact and a pin locking mechanism that would set the utensil further into place. Adding both forms of locking would help improve stability and security for the patient. This image describes the process of the magnet component locking into the base and then the utensil being twisted to further secure the utensil. These two forms of locking are simple technologies and concepts that aren't anywhere in the market. From our literature review, we weren't able to find any product that uses a magnetic and pin locking system together. The next component of our project is the curved utensils, which are mainly to help improve the patient's experience, convenience, and ease. We aim to use hard plastic material which is durable, easy to wash, easy to use, and another alternative we thought of was the possibility of offering both metal and plastic utensils that could be interchangeable. This would allow for more independence for the patient in that he or she could choose which utensil they need and choose what material they need based on their requirement. And metal utensils in general are better for more rigid foods. The utensils will also have a magnetic end at the bottom of the base so that it can magnetically lock to the device, just like we talked about in the previous slide. The third component is a non-slip Velcro adjustable band. This band can be custom fit to the patient, but will also be adjustable for the patient's need and comfort level. Slipping was one of the patient's main concerns, so it's important that our band consists of a non-slip material. Another important aspect for us was the comfort level of the patient while using the device. So we proposed to potentially add some interior lining to the band to provide more comfort during movement. Potential material could include polyester, cotton, which both would provide more breathability. However, this might introduce other problems such as more slip. We do believe that our design is innovative, as like I mentioned before, there aren't any eating devices or eating aids that incorporate both magnetic and pin lock mechanisms. In addition, our design is centered around improving the patient's experience while eating, and we try to take into account multiple factors like slipping, security, comfort, convenience, and ease. And in terms of feasibility, this project is feasible in the sense that most of the components that we need can be designed on CAD. For example, the angled utensils or the small components that we would need. Another option we have is to order a lot of the parts, which are available on resources such as Amazon. And on top of all of that, we also do have access to a lot of resources and facilities here on campus that can help us.
So up next, we'll be talking about our discussion. So as a summary of our presentation, for this project, we came across a client with a long transradial amputation on his dominant hand who complained of rotating, slipping, and twisting of his current setup, which composed of the hook prosthesis and a universal cuff. So our design is composed of 4 components. The first component is the Velcro component. This will allow for maximum adjustability and comfort so the patient can make it as tight or as loose as they want on their arm. The second component is a pin locking mechanism. So this will prevent any slipping, rotating, and twisting that the client initially complained of. The third is the hard plastic utensil. So the utensils that we plan on designing will be composed of hard plastic, and that ensures durability and reusability of the utensils. And then last but not the least, the fourth component is the magnetic attachment, and this will allow for a snug and easy fit of utensils into the device, so the patient can eat easily without worrying about the utensils falling off of the device. Of course, with every design, there are some limitations that we expect in our design as well. The main limitation that we anticipate in our design is discovering the optimal magnetic strength that ensures a snug fit of utensils. Because if the magnetic strength is too high, the utensil will be difficult to remove or take off, but if the magnetic strength is too low, the utensil will be difficult to attach. However, to overcome this, continuous testing can be performed to find the ideal weight of utensils and corresponding magnetic strength to fine-tune the best combination. So we can, work with different weights of the utensils and see what magnetic strength it would require to attach to the device. In addition, we can present our prototypes to the client and avail his feedback to find the best design possible for him. So thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it and we look forward to your feedback.